Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football video. Today's video is Week 7 QB rankings. Now, before I get into quarterbacks 1 through 20 for this week, I'd like to give you guys a word from my sponsor, OverlayDFS.com. Are you tired of having to pick the perfect player at every single position in order to win salary cap DFS? Are you tired of having your salary cap lineup out of the running to win the money in the first 5 minutes of the games? Does playing salary DFS feel like a job and not even a game? Well, I have the solution for you guys right here. OverlayDFS.com has a new revolutionary start-sit game for fantasy sports. They're home of the single entry GPP, and it's so simple, guys. I plan this every single week. All you got to do is you look at the matchups on your screen here. There's a bunch of them, and you just pick which players. You're going to have to pick 12 players as well as 3 alternates. Who do you think is going to do better than another person? So do you think Daniel Jones is going to be better than Teddy Bridgewater? It is that simple, guys. That is literally all you have to do. And there's pretty much entries at every single level. This is the $2.50 one. There's $22 ones. There's even $100 ones if you are rolling in the big bucks like that. See, if you go 12 and 0 in this, 12 and 0 record gets you $2,972. So you're making way more money than the $2.50 you put in. And if you finish in the top 10% of people, you get $18, and it goes up obviously depending on which type of game you're playing in based upon how much you put into the game. So it's very simple. I plan it pretty much every single week. So say in week 4, if you were playing in the 12, if you went 12 and 0 in the $109 game, you'll win a progressive bonus of over $26,000. The object is pretty much just to stay consistent, and you get, if you finish in the top 10% of the field, you win 9 times your buy-in until you get that beautiful 12 and 0 and win that huge progressive bonus. So make sure that you guys check this out. It's super easy. I planned it every single week. I've been doing pretty good, but I think you guys may honestly be smarter than me and may be able to do better. So come play with me. Come check it out. OverlayDFS.com. Check it out. Link below down in the description. And we are back, Week 7 quarterback rankings. Let's get into it. At number 1, we have Lamar Jackson going up against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the Seattle Seahawks have not been playing all that great against the quarterback position in the past couple of weeks, and I think Lamar Jackson is really going to be able to get it done this week with his legs and with his arm. He's obviously a guy that has such high rushing ability that I think not ranking him number 1 this week, when obviously Pat Mahomes is out, obviously got hurt on Thursday night. Normally I rank Pat Mahomes number 1, but this week Lamar Jackson gets to overtake Pat Mahomes and become the number 1 quarterback in my rankings this week. Obviously, Lamar Jackson should be able to have a high-scoring game this week against the Seattle Seahawks. At number 2, we have Deshaun Watson going up against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, Deshaun Watson last week was not able to really get it done with his arm, but was able to run it in 2 times. Now, this week, I think against the Colts, he's going to be able to throw the ball a lot more. Obviously, Will Fuller dropped a few open touchdowns, or a few touchdowns that he should have been able to score, just dropped them straight with his fucking butter on his hands or something. He just wasn't able to catch the ball. I think this week, Deshaun Watson will be in for a much better game. At number 3, we have Matty Ice going up against the LA Rams. Now, Matt Ryan has thrown 300-plus yards in his first 7 games, which is up there with some of the great quarterbacks that are in the Hall of Fame. Now, if he's able to do it again, I should say 6 games in a row, if he's able to do it again this week, will be the 7th week in a row, and that would be put him up there with even more greats. Now, 300-plus yards is something that I think he can do this week against the Rams. The only question is the touchdowns. I think this week against the Rams are going to be looking for some blood, and the Falcons' defense is terrible, so I think that the Falcons are going to be throwing it a lot, and that Matt Ryan's going to be throwing some touchdowns this week. At number 4, we have Russell Wilson going against the Baltimore Ravens, and Russell Wilson, just like Lamar Jackson, can both get it done through the air and with his legs. Obviously, Russell Wilson doesn't run as much as Lamar Jackson, but they both have that type of upside. Russell Wilson has looked like a top 5 quarterback in fantasy football every single week. He's been playing phenomenal football, and I think this week against the Ravens, a defense that isn't all that good, he should be in for a good matchup. At number 5, we have Josh Allen going up against the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are so fucking bad that it's unreal. Josh Allen is going to absolutely bend them over and fuck them just unbelievably hard. They're just going to screw the Dolphins right in the ass with no remorse. The Dolphins are going to get fucked in this game. Josh Allen may end up being the number 1 quarterback this week. I honestly believe it. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. He can do all the things Lamar Jackson could do, and he's in an even better matchup. Now, the thing is, once they get up 3,000 to 1, I think that they're just going to run the ball a bunch of times in the 4th quarter. But even with that, Josh Allen should be able to secure enough points at the beginning of the game to make him worth that top 5 quarterback slot this week. At number 6, we have Jared Goff going up to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, last week, Jared Goff absolutely needed some huggies because he was taking a shit all over the field and straight in his fucking pants. He was doing absolutely nothing. This week against the Falcons, I think he's in for a huge bounce back week, and I think that he is worthy of a top 10 quarterback ranking. This week, I got him at 6. At number 7, we have Kyler Murray going up against the New York Football Giants. Now, Kyler Murray has been performing very well on the ground now, because at the beginning of the season we were seeing that he wasn't really using those legs, wasn't really running the ball. Now later into the season we're getting to see a lot of his legs, how his legs work. He walks, takes some steps, with his legs, how we all do, but he runs fast. I think Kyler Murray is in a good matchup this week against the Giants. Now the Giants were able to shut down Brady pretty well last week, but that's because Eli Manning, like I said in another video, has some gypsy witchcraft type deal where he just gets straight in Bill Belichick's head. This game, that's not going to be able to happen. Kyler Murray is going to be able to run and pass all over the Giants, and that's why he's ranked number 7 in my rankings this week. At number 8, we have Aaron Rodgers, who had a pretty good game last week against the Detroit Lions, but I think this week against the Oakland Raiders, he performs even better. Now, will the refs be on his side in this game? Who really knows? But Aaron Rodgers should be in for a high-scoring matchup this week against the Raiders, and by high-scoring matchup, I mean they are just going to pulverize the Oakland Raiders, just fucking smack them down like it's nothing, and Aaron Rodgers is going to come out with a good stat line in this game. At number 9, we have Carson Wentz going up against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I think Mr. Nose, Mr. Schnoz, Carson Wentz over here is in for a good matchup against the Cowboys. The Cowboys defense has done wonders for the quarterback playing against him. I think Carson Wentz will do the same thing this week and produce a pretty good game. He's been playing pretty well the last couple of weeks. I see no reason why the Dallas Cowboys would stop that. At number 10, we have Tom Brady going up against the New York Jets. Now, the one worry about Tom Brady is that they absolutely skull fuck the Jets, and they just run the ball a bunch of times at the end. That's why he's ranked number 10. He hasn't been playing all that hot. Obviously, last week ran in 2 touchdowns. That's something I don't necessarily see in the forecast for this game, but what I do foresee in my Oracle Ball is that the Patriots destroy the Jets. I think Tom Brady comes out with a top 10 performance this week. At number 11, we have Dak Prescott going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Dak Prescott has looked okay the last couple of games. The Dallas Cowboys have looked atrocious. Now, they are converting to the art of running the ball because they're using the guy that they paid millions of dollars to. They're actually running the ball with Zeke. Who would have known that would actually work out and be a pretty good strategy? Dak Prescott should be in for a good game, though. Obviously, Amari Cooper being out or likely not playing hurts his value, but I still think Dak Prescott will be able to get it done with Michael Thomas, Jason Witten, and by Michael Thomas, I mean Michael Gallup, Jason Witten, and Ezekiel Elliott. At number 12, we have Daniel Jones, DJ, going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Daniel Jones has been playing pretty well. Obviously, last week against the the Patriots, he did not play so well. But this week against an Arizona Cardinals defense that has not looked strong all year, getting back some of his weapons in Evan Ingram and Saquon Barkley, I think Daniel Jones is in for a huge bounce back game against the Cardinals. Now on to number 13. So if you guys have enjoyed thus far, make sure to click that subscribe button. At number 13, we have Gardner Minshew going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals corners are all banged up. Their 2 main corners are hurt. Their other corner, that's going to be the number 1 corner, his arm's fucked up. So Gardner Minshew is going to destroy this game against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Gardner Minshew could potentially be a top 12 guy this week. I definitely love him a lot if you're able to pick him up off the waiver wire. Minshew Mania is going to be unreal in this game. He obviously did not perform last week against the Saints, but I think he has a huge bounce back in this game against the Cincinnati Bengals. At number 14, we have Kirk Cousins. You like that? Going up against the Detroit Lions. Kirk Cousins has been playing phenomenal the last couple of weeks. Obviously, last week, Mr. Stephon Diggs was a huge benefactor of Kirk Cousins, but I think this week, Kirk Cousins may not be throwing 4 touchdowns, may not be going absolutely sicko mode, as they like to call it, but I think he'd be able to play quite well against the Lions. We saw Aaron Rodgers play well against the Lions last week. I think Kirk Cousins is in for a pretty big game here. This isn't a night game. This isn't a game that's being played at 8 where Kirk Cousins will choke immensely. This is a game that's during the day, so Kirk Cousins should be fine. At number 15, we have Mr. Jacoby B going up against the Houston Texans. Now, I saw Jacoby B 2 weeks ago in a matchup where I thought he would be able to eviscerate the Kansas City defense, and he absolutely shit the bed because they just kept running the ball. This week against Houston, I don't think they're going to be able to hammer the ball down their throat 9 million times and for it to work. I think Jacoby B is going to have to air it out. I think T.Y. Hilton is back. I think that T.Y. Hilton coming back is going to cause the coaches over there to try to throw the ball more, and I think Jacoby Brissett is in for a good matchup. At number 17, and by 17 I mean 16, we have Jimmy G Spot, Jimmy Guap going against the Washington Washington Redskins. Now, I have them ranked pretty low at 16, even though the Redskins are a premier matchup for Jimmy G, just for the fact that they like to run the ball so much. Matt Breida, Tevin Coleman, it do not matter. They're both going to run the ball a lot. Obviously, that hurts Jimmy G's value, but Jimmy G should still be able to put up a great stat line against the Washington Redskins. At number 17, we have Matty Snapback going up against the Minnesota Vikings. Against the Vikings, this is not the greatest matchup for Matt Stafford. Now, I think Matt Stafford should be in for an okay game, but 17, 18, 19, and 20, all these quarterbacks are guys that I'm trying to stay away from this week. Especially Matt Stafford going up against the Vikings is going to be a hard look for him. And we saw last week Matt Stafford not be able to get into the end zone. They were relying a lot on Mr. Matt Prater, and I worry that that could happen in this game as well. Number 18, we have Phil the Thrill Rivers going up against the Tennessee Titans. And Philip Rivers is ranked 18. That's just about as many kids as he has. But this week, he's not going to look that great against the Tennessee Titans. Last week, he played like shit against the Steelers until the final couple minutes of the game. But Philip Rivers is not in for a good matchup this week against the Titans. The Titans have been pretty strong against the quarterback position thus far this year. And that obviously hurts Philip Rivers' value for this week. So I think that he's a guy that I may be willing to sit in a lot of situations. At number 19, we have Andy Dalton going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Andy Dalton has potential to have a big game this week. The Jacksonville defense has not looked all that good. They're obviously without Jalen Ramsey because his ass got shipped to the Rams. I think Andy Dalton could have a good game, but you're worrying about the fact that he's Andy Dalton. He could throw 5 picks in this game. He could be playing against the worst defense. He could be playing against a Pee-wee defense to throw 7 picks because he's just that bad. I would not want to rely on Andy Dalton this week, and that's why he's ranked number 19. And at number 20, the final ranked quarterback, we have Mr. Derek Carr going up against the Green Bay Packers. Now, Derek Carr has not looked all that great thus far this season. At the beginning, he started off strong week 1, but he's tapered off ever since. I think this week against the Packers, he's in for a solid game. I obviously think that the Packers are going to whoop they ass, but I think at the end of the day, Derek Carr will throw the ball enough, potentially score a couple of touchdowns, and you'll be happy with Derek Carr if you're in a 2-quarterback league, but if not, you don't want Derek Carr touching your lineup. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you enjoyed, make sure to click that subscribe button down below. Make sure you check out my sponsor, OverlayDFS.com. Link down below in the description. I love each and every single one of you guys. Thank you again for 2,500 subscribers. We're going to hit 3,000 soon. I love you all. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye.